So yeah, let's get into it. So a YouTube couple opens up about a difficult decision to end pregnancy following Down syndrome diagnosis. So let's talk about it. So basically, this YouTube couple that is, I guess, very popular and stuff like that in the field, they had came out and they was saying how they was going to terminate the pregnancy because they found out through testing and through the process that the child would most likely come out with Down syndrome. Now, I don't think that it was confirmed. I don't think they said anything like, oh, it's confirmed that the child is going to come out with Down syndrome. It was more so of, if you have ever went through a pregnancy and stuff like that, they do a lot of testing and they will let you know about the possibility of your child having a disability or something being wrong with the child. And throughout their process, they found this out. So she decided to terminate the pregnancy. Now, she's getting a whole lot of backlash. Both of them are getting backlash. They even had to come out and do a video about people making threats, people, coming after them and saying very discouraging things. They basically, it's kind of like half and half. Some people are saying like, hey, well, that's something that they couldn't handle. It's okay. And then, of course, you have the people that feel like, for number one, abortion is already bad. And then people are upset because the people that have kids or that have a disability is feeling some type of way because they just like, wow, so that means that everybody who have a child that has a disability, they should not they basically should terminate the pregnancy. Like, the kids are not worth being here. And this is my opinion about the situation. I just really personally feel that everybody should have a choice, especially the mother, the woman. I really think that it was very, disheartening to know that a lot of places had banned abortions when it come down to women. It's like, they was saying that, hey, you can't terminate the pregnancy. You got to go to another state, or you have to go to another, another route and stuff like that. And to me, that's what scares me. That's what really scares me, because what people fail to realize is that you could be healthy and have a healthy baby, but every time a woman, basically get pregnant with a child, she's putting her life at risk for that child. And just imagine, you carrying something in your body for 9 months. And I'm talking about not only the physical, but the mental intake that they have on you. Now, do I feel like that this couple was definitely wrong for, terminating their pregnancy because they felt? I don't. I really do not feel like that they was wrong for terminating a pregnancy, because the simple fact is that when you're going through the situation and you're going through the mental and the physical aspect of it, not trying to be funny, they probably feel like that they did not want to raise that child in a world. It is so corrupt. Like, this world is probably 10 times worse than what they probably have been through growing up and stuff like that. Everybody has a choice. She did not feel like that her mental and her physically could take birthing a child that was going to have a disability at the end of the day. And there's nothing wrong with her saying that. Some people was like, well, she should have never brought it to the table. No, I feel like she was bringing it to light, and they was bringing it to light because so many people, you don't know who all that could have helped or that could have hindered in the process of their decision making. Because what I do not like is that the people that are having kids and then they end up mistreating their kids, or they end up causing harm to their child life. Look at all these women that sit up here and had kids, and then they ended up doing crazy and strange things to a child just because they have some type of resentment or mental capacity that could not take dealing with these kids or the kids. Yeah, we could easily be like, oh, well, if that's the case, they don't need to be laying down. They don't need to be doing this and doing that. They shouldn't even be planning the baby. Look at this couple. That was a couple. They are married. And they still decided to terminate the pregnancy because they could not deal with having a child with a disability. And nothing is wrong with that, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion. Because I'd rather for people to sit up here and understand the strength and weaknesses before a child get here than sit up here and bring a child into this world and then be like, well, we'll just figure it out. We'll just go with the flow. Because postpartum is real. Postpartum depression is real. Like, that alone can take a person out of their misery. You see what I'm saying? Like, so much go into that situation. How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like that it's wrong for them to terminate their pregnancy when it came down to them finding out that they might have a special needs child? Or do you feel like that, no, it's not wrong? And why? You know, because a lot of times, like I separately say, people are being judged, and you don't know who else it could be helping in the process of you just giving your opinion or you putting a situation out there. Come on now, we all have been in a situation when it was time to make a decision that we can either stand for or we could go against. And it's okay for everybody to have an opinion, but for people to be leaving these people death threats and sitting up here going in on them, trust and believe me. Now, granted, the hate really can drain them, but just imagine the love also, because it is people that, you know, reached out to them that had kids that probably had the same, you know, disabilities or different disability, and they probably sit up here and applaud them and was like, you know what, thank you. Instead of you sitting over here bringing this child into this world and having some type of resentment and knowing for a fact that you're not going to do right by this child, thank you for at least making that decision not to bring this child into this world with some type of trauma built up. I'm just saying. You know, and so what do you guys think about that? That was the hot topic for today.